It's your boy, J Shaw 3245. Follow me on Twitter. If you listen to the last podcast, I said that I would come back with another Duke podcast talking about the 2018 recruits, guys that Coach K and Shai are going after the hardest. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. First up, we got Trey Jones. That's Tyus' little brother. Tyus Jones from the 2015 National Championship team. We all love him. Darius Garland, he's the number one point guard in 2018. RJ Barrett, he was the number one kid in 2019, but reclassified to 2018, so now he's number 3 behind Zion. Cameron Reddish, who was the number 4 recruit in 2018, right behind RJ Barrett. And then we have Marvin Bagley, who's number 1 by Scouts, ESPN, 24/7, Jesus Christ himself, God, like anywhere you look Marvin up, he's going to be number 1. Like that boy, the truth. I'm not sure if he's going to stay in 2017 or 2018. It's looking like he's going to be 2017, but anyway, I looked up all their numbers and stuff, so I was going to give you his EYBL numbers. Emmett Williams, Duke was looking at him. They still are. Emmett Williams is kind of funny because when Coach K talked to him, he said talking to Coach K was like talking to God. He said, talking to Coach K? It was like talking to God. Like, that is just funny. I mean, you have to have a good chance if the kid's saying, comparing you to God. Like, come on. But I feel like he's kind of like in the tier B. And the 4 guys that I named before, Trey Jones, Darius Garland, RJ Barrett, Cameron Reddish, are like tier 4. And depending on Bagley, not tier 4, like those are the hardest guys that Duke's going after. And then depending on what Bagley does, he would like make 5. We were looking at Romeo Langford before. He's the number 1 shooting guard in 2018. Duke no longer has any contact with him, according to Langford. So Duke's out of it. He's considered to be a Louisville guy. Moses Brown, he's a 7-foot center. He's a 5-star. Duke was talking to him earlier. I know him and Cole Anthony Jr. go to the same high school, and Duke has a lot of interest in Cole Anthony. He's 2019. But I haven't heard anything too much about Moses Brown recently. I don't know if that's because Coach K thinks Bolden's still going to be there, or maybe since Antonio Frankovich will be a senior at the time and Moses Brown enters college, so he might be like, Antonio really didn't play his freshman, sophomore, might not get a lot of minutes his junior year, so maybe he's thinking it's Antonio Frankovich's time to shine his senior year for rocking it out with us. Or maybe that could pick back up. I could be wrong, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. Then, of course, the YouTube sensation, Zion Williams, Mr. Break Your Rim, not Mr. Steal Your Girls, Mr. Break Your Rim. Like, that boy will punch it on you with the left, the right. I know we all saw the YouTube clips. If you didn't, just type in Zion Williams and you will be amazed. I like Zion Williams a lot just because I love athletic guys. How can you not like Zion a lot? He's the most athletic guy I have ever seen in college basketball ever, I think. Maybe besides like LeBron, but I think he said he wanted to play with Emmanuel Quickly, and that guy is a 5-star point guard who's considered to be the number 3rd point guard and number 2 PG in 2018 behind Darius Garland, and he's considered to be a Kentucky lock. And Zion Williams seems like he's kind of not like Duke's recruiting him, but you know how like you have a better feel for the guys that are going to come to your school and not. And I feel like RJ Barrett and Cameron Reddish are giving a better vibe to Coach K. So you can't get all of the 6'7", 6'8" athletic wings. Duke normally gets 1. So if they could get 2 with RJ Barrett and Cam, I kind of feel like Zion's going to go somewhere else. So that's where Zion is right now. But hey, you never know. I was just going to give you guys like my personal thoughts on them first, and then I was going to read to you their stats in their AAU seasons. I'll start off with Marvin Bagley. I'm sorry if you guys listened to the last episode because you're going to have to hear me repeat this. Marvin Bagley's a 6'11", lefty. He moves like a guard. He can score from anywhere on the court, inside out. He shoots it really. The form looks good. He might need more repetition because when I looked up his EYBL numbers, you're going to see that the free throw percentage and the three-point percentage doesn't pan out from what I said last video. But what I read about him, and from every scout, like, he will be the number one pick. They're just taking him right over Michael Porter Jr., and that kid is a stud. Michael Porter Jr. is a stud. And so if they're taking Bagley over him, like, not even thinking about it, like, what it should tell you a lot about Bagley. Like, if you need a bucket on the block, he's your man. If you want to play high-low, he could be the low or the high. If you need him to step out and hit a corner three, he can do that. So, and he moves like a guard, and he's super athletic. And then he has a high motor. So when you put all that skill together with a high motor, you're going to have a great player. And that's what you have with Bowden. Darius Garland, he's the number 1 point guard in 2018. He's about like 6'1", like a $170. I wasn't that moved by him just because he seems so regular. Like, I could watch kids in my area or North Carolina that are just, who could have like similar highlights. I told you in my last video, I can't travel the world to see all these kids play. The only thing that I do travel to see them play is normally the Jordan Brand Classic, where I get to see them live. So hopefully I'll get to see him live and he can change my perspective. I follow Draft Express on Twitter, and they tweeted about him. They tweeted about him during one of the games. They said he has such a great quick first step, has a complete overall control over the game. So he probably has things that you can't see like in his highlight videos that you need to actually be there in a real game to get the full effect of Darius Garland. So maybe that's why I'm kind of like pooping on him a little. But seems like he's going to be undersized. He could really shoot. I know he could really shoot. And he does look quick in his video. I'm just not in love with having two PGs because I know Darius Garland and Trey Jones talked about they want to play together in college. And yes, Quinn Cook and Tyus Jones, when they had two PGs, it worked in college. In 2013 with Louisville, Russ Smith and Payne Seaver worked in college. And then Nova, Jalen Brunson, and I'm drawing a blank on the other dude's name. Damn, that nigga was nice too. Excuse my language, but you know who I'm talking about. So it has worked in the past with 2 point guards. But one of those guys were normally upperclassmen too, I'm pretty sure. So I don't, especially if we're going to have guys like Jordan Tucker, and if we get Cameron Reddish and RJ Barrett, I'd rather have the size with 6'7", 6'8", and then 6'8" again, instead of having two PGs like that. So I'm not in love with this kid, as you could tell. And then when I read you his EYBL stats, he definitely did the worst out of all the bunch. Out of all the guys that I got their stats, I got Marvin stats, Darius stats, Trey Jones stats, Cam stats, RJ stats, and Emmett Williams stats. And Darius Garland was definitely the least impressive. Moving along, I have Trey Jones. I just love this guy ever since Tyus. It's probably unfair how I love him because he's his own man. He can't live in the shadow of his brother. Just because Tyus was so great and hit every clutch shot ever and was the perfect point guard, and I was just like, he's so amazing. I really want his little brother. That's unfair to Trey Jones, and I'm doing that to him, but he can handle the hype, it seems like. Even though he started off as a 4-star recruit going into the spring of AAU, and he balled out so much that he shot all the way up to a 5-star, and now he's like ranked number 20. Like before, he was farther down the rankings, and now guys are saying that he might be the number 1 PG in 2018. Once I watched his highlights, I was like, oh my God. He looked exactly like Tyus Jones. Like, it was like watching a Tyus Jones clone. They've both been on varsity since like 7th grade. So, he has a high IQ. He's a good rebounder. He's just so... It's really watching the same exact person. And then I know that his brother went to Duke. So I'm like, Tyus could be like, yo, let's do the shooting workout. You're going to do this at Duke. In the ACC, you could get away with this and stuff. He could give him like little tips because his brother played there. And then his brother is in Minnesota, and I follow both of them on Twitter, and they're really close. So Tyus could be like, yo, Troy, let's go do this NBA workout. I know Duke is top notch, but the NBA is still the NBA. So, yo, Tips got me doing this crazy workout. You got to do it with me, bro. It's gonna get you to the NBA, and you're only a senior in high school right now. So if you're doing this, you're gonna be super advanced. So I was thinking, I don't care what he's ranked, 4-star, 5-star, 3-star. I watched his highlights, looked up some of his high school number, and I was like, this kid is balling. I want this kid to come to Duke when he was a 4-star. I know some of the people are writing it off, like he doesn't shoot as well as his brother. He's not going to be as good as his brother. During this spring, it looked like he shut everyone up. Everyone quiet now. So, I love Trey Jones. I'm probably putting a little too much pressure on because of Tyus, but I think he can handle it. So, I hope we get him. Emmett Williams, I like him. When I watched Tricky Trey, they have like a home team does like little videos of people, and Tricky Trey, that's Trayvon Duval. It's called Tricky Trey, that's why I keep saying that. But Trayvon Duval plays for IGM Academy, and so does Emmett Williams. They're both on the same high school team, and I was thinking, who is Trey throwing these lobs to? How is this guy catching all these putbacks? Did he just windmill on that kid? And that was Emmett Williams. He's ranked like number 18 in 2018. He's an undersized big, but has a crazy motor. He's kind of has like a body similar to Emil Jefferson, a bit smaller because Emil was 6'9", I think, but he's more athletic than Emil. Good rebounder. Should be able to guard the bigs and because he has like a nice frame, even though he's small, like he's solid. He should be able to guard the bigs and guards. Moves really well. And if you play hard, good things are going to happen. He's been working on his face-up game. So I really like this kid. And then I love athletes. I always say I love athletes. So want Emmett to come. Let's see. Moving along. Oh, RJ Barrett. First time I saw him play was, what was it? Like the Dick's Invitationals. I had to go to work. I could only watch the first half. My boy had 20 at half. Oh my God, was he flaming everything in sight. Nobody. It was send double team, triple team, send the whole team. He was still getting buckets. It didn't matter who you sent at his way. Oh my God, was he dogging. And then over the summer, Team USA, John Calipari's U19 team, they won gold medal. This is the first year they didn't win gold medal in 6 years. And why didn't they win gold medal? They played Canada, who had RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett gave them boys 44. 44. He was killing everyone. Send the double team, triple team, killing everything. And then, yes, he went on to win the gold medal and had like 36 in the gold medal game. So that boy is the truth. Everyone said when he's eligible for the draft next year, that's why he reclassified, because he's like, all right, I already know I'm the truth. I'm going to be a top 3 lock, and he's going to be a top 3 lock. Once you watch him play, you can watch these games on YouTube too. Watch him play Team USA. It's all on YouTube. Cameron Reddish is getting buckets. The whole Team USA is just getting buckets. You can watch it. You will be really impressed. So I like that kid, as you can see. Moving along, Cameron Reddish. I like this guy too. He's 6'8". He's long. I gotta shout out my boy Marty in that Duke group chat that I'm in on Twitter. That shit is a classic. I love them. But when I saw Cam and his highlights, I was like, he kind of reminded me of like Tatum. Like, yes, Tatum's really skilled, but I really like the Josh Jacksons, and who else is like I'm trying to think, like Ferguson, probably with more skill than Ferguson, but I love athletes. So when I saw Cam, I was like, yeah, Cam's really nice, but I just wish he was a bit more athletic. And then after like watching him some more and then reading about him, and then what really got my attention was watching him throughout the EYBL. He had multiple 40-point games, and he was shooting it well from deep. And I was like, yo, he's hitting like 7 threes, 8 threes. And then when you read about him, everyone says he's a point forward. So I'm thinking, yo, a guy that could get buckets like this, but he's a point forward? That's a scary sight. So he can score from anywhere on the court, but he can also set you up and run your offense. So I'm like, oh, we got to get this kid. And Duke has been so great with guys with body types similar to him, with Jabari, Tatum. I'm not going to go down the list, but you know what I'm saying. So that I really want this kid. Shout out Marty for you put me on. Like, shoot, gotta shout you out for that. Who did I talk about? That's all of them right now that everyone was going the hardest at. So I guess I'll go back up to Marvin Bagley so I can just read you their stats. But they all play in the EYBL. The EYBL is the Nike circuit for AAU. You know how there's the Under Armour circuit, Adidas circuit. They call the Nike circuit the EYBL. So that's what the EYBL is. And then Peach Jam is, I'm going to tell you about a story that my friend told me about Peach Jam. Shout out to Ant Gaines. He plays City Rock. He's at Northwestern right now. Boy, that boy got bounced. But anyway, when he was talking to me about Peach Jam, he was like, yo, the way you love ball, you got to find a way to go to Peach Jam. Because I was telling him I go to the Jordan Brand Classic. He was like, you got to go to Peach Jam. And then he told me, like, when you walk in, he said the atmosphere is just crazy. Like, you look to your left, you see Coach K. You look on top, you see Tom Izzo. Then in front of you, there's Coach Cal. So you're just, all the coaches are there. And then, like, just the atmosphere is, like, he's like, it's the greatest thing he had ever played in, the way he was explaining it to me. Like, once you step on the court, he said, even if you don't play on your team, you still feel that, like, that dude. Like, you just walk in, you got all your gear. He said, like, you just feel like that dude. Like, you're that dude when you're at Peach Jam. Just because that's the atmosphere that it gives off. And then he was telling me about the crazy battles that he saw. Like, in 2015, you could watch this on YouTube. Antonio Blakely and Isaiah Briscoe get into a little battle. And I was telling him about it. I was like, yo, I was like 10 seats back from courtside, and Isaiah Briscoe went at Tone, and he had like everyone on his feet. It was the most crazy thing I've ever seen in my life, because he had like 10,000 people on their feet at the Barclays Center. And every time, you know how New York does the yeah, and they're clapping? So Tone's playing defense on him, and Isaiah Briscoe's coming down the court for like 15, probably like 10, 15 straight possessions. Every time Isaiah Briscoe touched the ball, they're doing the yeah, probably because he's from Jersey, but like he has like the smooth dribble, the one-on-one, the break your ankles thing. So that was crazy. And he was like, yo, that started in Peach Jam. Where you think they, like, why do you think they started butting heads? Because in Peach Jam, like, they would always get into it. Like, the referees had to separate them. They would talk mad stuff to each other. They would always go at it. And then he was just telling me about Miles Turner's and, like, Ben Simmons, and how Jason Tatum he said he's the most, what did he say? He said, it looks like he's not trying. That's what he said. He said, the way he scores is just so effortless. It honestly looks like he's not trying. He said, it's just too easy for him. So he said Peach Jam's the best thing he ever played in. And the Peach Jam is the playoffs. You have the regular season. You have four divisions, A, B, C, and D. And the top 4 seeds from each division advance to Peach Jam. So, enough of my little rambling, but I'll jump into Marvin Bagley and tell you what he did. Marvin Bagley played for Nike family, and during the regular season, they had a terrible record. They were 2-14. Yes, 2-14. I know. That's probably because Marvin played with his high school team. Mostly a lot of the players on his team was his high school team. And if you think about it, if any of you guys played AAU that listened, or if you have a kid that plays AAU or a friend that plays AAU, it's normally not the team's high school team, right? It's normally the best players from around that area or around the world, because a lot of people like to be traveling a lot for AAU. So if it's just your high school team and you're not getting the best kids around the whole area or like the world, your team's probably going to struggle. And boy, did they struggle. Like I said, they were 2-14 in the regular season. But besides that, Marvin said he's going to do numbers. And boy, did he do numbers. His regular season averages were 25.8 points per game, 14.9 rebounds per game, and 3.7 blocks per game. He, of course, like with numbers like that, you're thinking, damn, who can match that? He was the regular season MVP, even though his team was Traga. So I don't know exactly how his team made Peach Jam, because it's supposed to be the top 4 seeds advance. So maybe they got like a wild card or something. So I don't fully understand it. But somehow they got into Peach Jam, and they were not. I looked up at his division. They were not in the upper 4 seeds because they couldn't be with that 2-14 record. But they did make Peach Jam, and when he made Peach Jam, Bagley still was like, I'm going to do work. He averaged 24.6 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, and then 2 assists per game. And he made Peach Jam all first team. He shot 53% from the field. And this is what I was telling you about, like his shaky shooting numbers. He shot 62% from the line and 20% from deep. Yes, I know. That is awful. And I did the playoffs and the regular season all combined, so you get a bigger sample size. So the amount of threes he took a good amount. He took 67 and only made 14. So I don't know if he's shooting bad shots or what, but like he's shooting empty clips. Like 20% is god awful. His high throughout the season was 36. I'm going to leave the link in the description because I'm always telling you my thoughts about how Bagley's this, how he's that. He's ranked number 1 by God, Jesus Christ himself. So I'm going to let you read what the experts say about him, the guys that are getting paid to do this. So you don't just have to take my word for that. So those links will be in the description about him being Peach Jam, first team, the MVP, and how even though his team sucked in the regular season, when they went to Peach Jam, they won I'm pretty sure they won 3 games or 2 games. So they did pretty well in the playoffs when sticks at the sides, which is pretty good. Moving along, Darius Garland, ranked number 1 PG. He played for Bradley Beal Elite. Yes, that's the same team as Jason Tatum played for. His team record was much better. They were 13-3. During the regular season, he averaged 16.8 points per game, 4.8 assists per game, 3.1 rebounds per game, and made third team All EYBL. So at least he made a team. And Peach Jam, which is the playoffs, like I said, just in case you guys forgot, he averaged 15.5, and then points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists per game. And I told you he did like the worst out of the bunch. Those numbers are still solid, but he didn't make any playoff first team or second team. But he did make honorable mention, and he shot the ball pretty well. He was extremely efficient. He shot 51% from the field, which is really good for a guard or anyone for that matter, and 87% from the line, and then 33% from deep. So the deeps I know he could shoot better than that. I'll use Malik Monk as an example. I remember when he was going into college, everyone was saying he's a streaky shooter. He'll hit 10 or like 7, and then he'll only hit like 2, but that's probably due to shot selection. I never saw Darius Garland play, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because his shot really does look pretty when you see the highlight tapes, and Draft Express said he could really shoot it. And when you read about him, they talk about how he's a great shooter. So I don't know. Like 33% is not bad. It's kind of like average, but I do feel like he's more of like towards like the 38 to 39 percentile, like, or maybe even like 40%. Like this kid, like it looks pretty, and you see like the way the ball goes in. They got the good rotation and everything. So I feel like he's a better shooter than that. But in high school when you're the man, you have the ultimate green light. You can shoot any shot you want. You kind of shoot some bad shots. In high school, in college, you'll tone it down a bit and you'll shoot like more catch and shoots, and the guy goes under. Your shot selection is just overall better because you're with better players around, so you don't have to shoot those bad shots. So give him the benefit of the doubt there. Those are all his numbers. Moving along to Trey Jones. They list him at 6'4". I don't think he's 6'4". He's probably like 6'3", 180. I love him. He's a two-way player. I told you, started off as a 4-star recruit. He killed everything in sight. Darius Garland, when he played him, gave him like 34 and like 5 or whatever. He definitely won that matchup, even though Darius Garland's team won the game. He played another PG. He reclassified. What is his name? Tyger Campbell. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I think he's 2018 now. He might be 2019. I think he reclassified, though. But Trey Jones got him the hell out of here, bodied him, too. So that's why he moved up the ranking. He was killing everything in sight. But his team record was 13-3. He averaged 19.3 points per game, 8.3 assists per game, and 5.4 rebounds per game. So those numbers are really impressive, especially for a pass-first PG. And then 8 assists in AAU is a lot, man. That's really impressive. He was EYBL first team, of course, with numbers like that. Not only that, he had the honor of being the offensive player of the year of the EYBL in the regular season because of all the numbers he did and his team's winning percentage. Excuse me. His Peach Jam numbers, his assist dipped a little, but he probably felt like he needed to score more because his points went up. He averaged 23 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and then 4.7 assists per game. So his assists dipped quite a bit, but his points went up quite a bit too. He shot 52% from the field. And then this is where they talk about how he's not the shooter that Tyus is. He shot 24% from deep. He shot 41 threes throughout the whole entire thing. So that's the sample size. He only made 10. And then you think, come on, you got to be good from the line because in 2015, you remember Tyus and Quinn Cook were so great from the line. That's how we could always close deals. They just shot above like 85% from the line. he shot 71% from the line. I'm thinking, damn, Trey, you really got to work on your shot. If it makes you guys feel any better, I remember, you can still watch this, Draft Express has a video of Tyus Jones' weakness, and they talk about his inconsistent shooting mechanics and how he's going to, if he wants to be good at the next level, he's going to have to shoot the ball better. And we all saw how that went. So Tre Jones obviously has time, and he's working his butt off because he's jumping up the rankings. So I feel like the shot could get there. And from what I saw, it looks like his pull-up is really smooth. He might just be shooting bad from like deep, but the line is worrisome. Just because if you're normally the point guard, the best decision maker on the team, you want him to have the ball in his hand at the end of the game. If we do get him, and we don't want him shooting like 70% from the line, that's not well at all. He did make Peach Jam all second team though. I'll leave his link in the description too. He let his team never made it to bracket play. I guess bracket play is like the farthest, like one of the farthest you can, like you want to get to bracket play. So they made it to bracket play this year. They lost. I think they lost to Darius Garland, I'm pretty sure. But that was the farthest they ever made it with Tre Jones. So shout out to him. Who is this? Oh, Emmett Williams. Emmett Williams, he played for Each One Teach One. Guys that played for that program. Ben Simmons, Antonio Blakely, Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen came off the bench for that team. That's how deep these guys are. So Each One Teach One is a great program year in, year out. They had a 14-4 record. His regular season stats were, he was a double-double machine. He averaged 17.6 points per game, 11.6 rebounds per game, 1.3 blocks per game. So that double-double machine, that high motor, he was working hard. He made all EYBL second team. His Peach Jam numbers, they dipped quite a bit probably because the competition got better. It's the best of the best. 16 points per game, 10.3 rebounds per game, and then 2 blocks per game. And again, he made another team. He made Peach Jam all second team. Shot 63% from the field. What really impressed me was his 48% from deep. I was like, whoo. If he could shoot like that, it's not a huge sample size though, because he only took 29 and made 14 of them. So it's not a huge, like, taking 29 threes. Maybe he just got like hot or whatever, or shooting really good looks. I don't know. So, like, normally when someone shoots that well, 48% from deep, I'm thinking, if he can do that, we need him with a motor like that and the athlete he is. So, I looked at his free throw numbers to see if he was a really good shooter, and he shot 63% from the line. So, it might be a fluke. You never know, but at least he's working on it, and he's capable of hitting, I guess. I would like a bigger sample size to say that, to see what kind of shooter he really is. Moving along, RJ Barrett. The 6'7", 180, told you about this dude, got Team USA out of there, played for UPlay Canada. They had a 3-13 record, excuse me. He only played like 8 games. He didn't play a whole lot, but in those games he played, he had to kill everyone in sight. Like, what do you want him to do? He averaged 28 points per game. He was a double-double machine. He averaged 10.8 rebounds per game, so he's a really good rebounder from the wing position, and 3 assists per game. So he was dawking. He shot 43% from the field, 58% from the line, and 31% from deep. If you're a wing, especially the way the NBA is going, even college, you got to be able to shoot the ball. You have to be able to shoot the ball. Come on. Like, those 58 from the line, that is terrible. And then 31% from deep. Like, the shooting stroke got to get there. If it makes you guys feel better, the reason he didn't, he said he hasn't been playing the EYBL. I guess he felt like maybe he needed more reps instead of more games. Sometimes that's true with kids. So he said a lot of people haven't seen him playing quite a bit. Before when he was, they did see him play like overseas because I told you he won the gold medal. But he said he's just been working on his game. He's really been working hard on the shot just every day. So don't think just because he wasn't playing in the EYBL, he's just, all right, I'm being a bum playing video games. No, he's working hard, and he goes to the same school as that Ben Simmons and D'Angelo Russell went to, so they're a top-notch high school program, so you know they're going to have him right, too. So, look out for him, man. I really hope we get this kid. Since he only played 8 games, he made honorable mention. He didn't play Peach Jam at all. He didn't play the whole regular season, so he only made honorable mention. If he would have played throughout the whole season, he definitely would have been first team easy. Moving along to Cameron Reddish. He played for Team Final, who had a 7-9 record. His regular season numbers were 22.6 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game, and then 3 assists per game. Peach Jam, this is the only guy I could not find. I don't know why they did not want me to have his stuff. Anytime I went to Cameron Reddish, it said invalid access. I went to his team, invalid access. I typed in his name, invalid access. So his Peach Jam numbers are just not there. But you could still see like the Peach Jam who made Peach Jam first team, Peach Jam second team, I don't mention, and he didn't make any of those. So I'm pretty sure he only played one Peach Jam game, like they got bounced in the first round. But I do remember seeing the box score. I just remember seeing his points. He had 44, so he went out gunning, and he hit like 7 threes. He was doing really good. And then I don't remember his rebounds or anything like that, but they did lose. I'm sorry that I couldn't get you the whole box score, so you had his all Peach Jam numbers. Moving along, I couldn't even get like his like shooter percentage or anything like that, just because they wouldn't allow me. So I'm sorry for that. I want to see what like his real percentage is, but I just could not get it. I'm really sorry for that. RJ Barrett. I'm just gonna tell you who led the league in assists, points, steals, stuff like that. So I'm back on to RJ Barrett. He led the whole EYBL in scoring at 28 points per game. Right behind him was Marvin Bagley at 25.8 per game. Cameron Reddish was 5th in scoring. I just told he was averaging 22.6. Trey Jones was 11th at 19.3 points per game. And then you had Emmett Williams at 18 at 17.6 a game. So they were all in the top 20. And then Darius Garland was number 22 at 16.8 a game. Trey Jones led the whole EYBL in assists at 8.3 assists per game. Darius Garland was number 10 at 4.8 a game. Trey Jones was 4th in steals at 1.9 a game. Bagley was 3rd in blocks at 3.1 a game. And then Emmett Williams at number 22 at 1.3 blocks per game. Bagley led everyone in rebounding at 14.9 a game. Emmett Williams was not too far behind him with his high motor self at number 3 with 11.6 rebounds a game. And then you had Cam at 7.8. I don't know why. That's weird. RJ was probably that's a mistake on myself that I'm just catching, because RJ would probably, I know RJ averaged 10, so RJ is probably ahead of Cam, obviously. If RJ averaged 10 and Cam averaged 7.8. So that's a mistake on my end. I don't know what he was at, but he's definitely higher than Cam, so I'm guessing he's in the top 20. That really much kind of just wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed all the stats and everything. It's interesting to see the guys' shooting numbers and percentages. I'm going to leave the link in the description so you can read from the experts what they're saying about the guys, and it's just not my word that you have to take, even though I think my opinion is pretty smart, but of course I'm biased because I'm me. I want you guys to listen to the podcast that I did with my brother. We talk about NBA teams. We put them into tiers. What you think, who's going to be like the leading scorer? Are they going to make a jump? Are they going to go backwards? Is like, for example, the Grizzlies, is grit and grind dead? Like I told you, I'm not just Duke. I am NBA. I will talk about college, other teams just besides Duke. I just love Duke. That's where my passion is. So I'm always researching stuff on Duke just for the love of the game, because I love Duke basketball. So I'm always going to give my insight to you guys. And I hope that you guys give me feedback or appreciate it. I saw one person comment before, so I really like that. Make sure you hit that like button. Please hit that like button so I know that I'm not just wasting my time. And then afterwards, I always tell you guys, give me feedback. I love feedback. You can follow me at jshort3245 on Twitter, as I stated once I set off the video. So you could tweet at me if you had any ideas for me, or if you think I need to be a bit more polished in this area. Leave a comment, tweet at me. Any way you could get at me, I'll take your feedback. Just try not to be an a-hole about it. There's no reason to be an a-hole about it. I obviously know I'm not a pro. I'm no Skip Bayless. I'm not the super polished speaker. I stutter quite a bit, but I'm working on that. With each podcast, I want to get better and better, of course. I'll talk, before I let you guys go, I'm just going to talk about what the guys that as long as we get Trey Jones, R.J. Barrett, Cameron Reddish, and Marvin Bagley. I don't care what class we get him in, 2017, 2018, dude's a stud. We need him. If we get him in 2018 with R.J. Barrett, Cameron Reddish, and Trey Jones, it's a wrap. It is really a wrap. That would be a crazy team. But think about it like this. R.J. Barrett and Cameron Reddish, those guys are... Imagine Jabari Parker and Jason Tatum on the same team. You're thinking, holy moly. Come on, like that's just unfair. Don't do that to them ACC boys. Like that would be unfair, right? Because Duke is so great with spacing the floor, with Tatum at the 4, Jabari at the 4, and you know those guys are good enough to play the 3 or the 4. So like if you had two of those guys on the same team with Cameron Reddish and R.J. Barrett, could you imagine? That would be, and they could boast. Well, Cam's probably a better shooter than R.J. right now, but I saw R.J. was shooting pretty good in that Team US versus Team USA. He might have just been hot, but he had 36 in the other game. But having both guys that can shoot and that athletic, and then you could start Trey Jones, Jordan Tucker, a sniper, and you see the most improvement your sophomore year of college, who's 6'7", that's a big kid, and then you got 6'8", and then if Antonio Frankovich still there, or maybe Bolden's still there. Like, come on, that is crazy. You could just like switch. All those guys are interchangeable on offense, and that's hard. That's a lot of length out there. They'll be on some Vince Carter and T-Mac stuff on the Raptors. Like, imagine both those guys in the prime on the same team, just killing everything in sight. Like T-Mac and Vince, come on. RJ and Cam, we're gonna be saying come on. And then if you throw Bagley in there, just forget it. I really think Trey Jones is going to be ready to play once he steps on campus, just like his brother. So, man, that's crazy. And then you have another guy like, you guys sleep on Jack White, but I really like Jack White. And then he's going to be a junior. So having him, another 6'7" guy come off the bench. So, like, that length, that's why I don't want Darius Garland, just because I want guys like that are bigger. I think Gary's going to be 2 and done. So you could have Trey, Gary, Cam, and then RJ. Like, that is just crazy. All those pieces that are just interchangeable, they can shoot, score from everyone on the floor. It's really positionless basketball, and that's the way the game's going. So if you could do that in college, but having all the high-level athletes, that would be crazy. So yes, Darius Garland's a good player, but I just don't want him and Trey Jones. I definitely want Trey Jones more than him. Those are just my thoughts. Maybe I'm sleeping on him. I want you guys to leave me feedback, like, yo, you're bugging, or if you like the Vince Carter, the T-Mac comparison, like, oh, that would be crazy. I never thought about it like that, because if you always think about it, Duke normally gets one high-level scorer. Like, we were supposed to get Kevin Knox this year, but we didn't get him. So we just got, like, the one guy, Jordan Tucker. He's not like that level, but you get what I'm saying. We got Jason Tatum. He was just a high-level wing. And then Jabari Parker, Brandon Ingram. It's always just one of those guys. So now having 2 of those guys, and Coach K is always so good with those guys. He's a mastermind with the spacing on the court with one of those guys. So now you're telling me he gets 2 of them? It's like, you know, if you guys play chess, when you have the queen, the most important piece, they can do anything. All right, Tatum, we need you to guard the bigs, but space the court on offense. I got you, coach. Jabari, we need you to bang on the block. Like, he can do all that. So now he has two queens. Like, 2 queens on his team if we get those boys. That's crazy. So that's why I want those guys. I do like Emmett Williams. We still have Javin. They're kind of like similar. Javin will be a junior the time he comes in. So it would be nice if we could land those. But the 3 that I really want in 2018 is Trey Jones, R.J. Barrett, and Cameron Reddish. Those are my guys. Like, as long as we land those 3, I will be happy. And then, of course, if Marvin Bagley's in 18, we need him. Like, need that. But I rambled for enough, so I'm going to let you guys go for real. Check out my brother's podcast. That link's going to be in the description. I just told you we talk about the NBA. I might leave a lot of links in the description, because if you missed the whole summer, you've been on vacation, you've been partying, I don't know what you've been doing, and you're like, damn, I haven't had any NBA news. Me and my brother we cover the whole summer, so listen to that and provide us with feedback. We go over the summer league, the draft, who was the winners, all that. If you're just the average hooper and you on YouTube or Twitter and you need some basketball accounts to follow, a book to read about basketball because you just love the game like me and my brother, we got you too. We tell you to follow Shot Mechanics on YouTube. He got some good books, basketball books like the Jason Williams book to read. So we're covering you guys out here. And we just want feedback. We just want, hey, I know you haven't got a lot of like retweets or listens or likes, but I really enjoy it, man. That would mean a lot to me. And if you could tweet at my brother, that would be a lot to him too. So please do that and provide us with feedback. I'll let you guys go now. So have a great day.